Okay, so if we look at it from that perspective, mirror, scale, bench, locker, gym. Yeah, actually that might do it. They are all things in a gym. Let's try. Scene in a locker room. All right. I wonder what this theme is going to be then. John's? Oh, people whose first name is John. And okay. All right. I was never going to get that. John Candy, John Carpenter, John Legend, John Major. Okay. I know like who two of those people are. So that was that was never going to happen. Yay, we did it. Well done, everybody in the chat. Good work. I know who John Candy is. I know that John Legend, I know that his wife is evil and tells people on the internet that they need to delete themselves. She tells people that. And she got cancelled for like 10 seconds, but then she came back and she looks like this. Just gonna leave this here. Anyway, John Legend's wife is an awful person. And she had so much surgery that she made herself look like Jigsaw from the Saw movies. She was sending like DMs to like 16-year-old girls on Twitter back in the day, telling them to like neck themselves and like just really horrific stuff. And they cancelled her for like 10 seconds, but I don't know, I guess because she's married. See, I can't name a John Legend song. Like, obviously he must be famous, but I don't get it. Wait, she's not 39? What? That is not a 39-year-old. I know 39-year-olds. They don't look like that. What the heck? I guess the surgery makes her look older. I don't know. Maybe it's the ugly heart that's shining through there, but yeah. Not a nice lady. Not a nice lady. Wicked Witch of your DMs. Yeah, no, actually, let's watch a video on her. That's a good idea. She came up because John Legend was in the... That was the first time I heard about John Legend, actually, was I knew about her before I knew about him. Yeah, just a nasty, nasty lady.
Chrissy posted the photos to her Instagram page and wrote in the caption, "Where do I even begin? What an absolutely epic night. My dream came true of watching my friends fight to the death. Dunk tank, musical chairs, hide and seek."
She's one of those people that thinks she's like really, really funny, but she's not. She's just really, really mean. Like all 100% of her jokes are just being snarky about other people. Never any self-deprecation. What is Astrology Party? So Astro World is this guy called Travis Scott, although his name is not Travis Scott. His name is like, I don't know, Beef Wellington III or something like that, something bizarre. He's like a rapper or like a hip hop artist. I don't really know the difference between rap and hip hop, to be honest with you. I don't listen to that type of music, but he threw this concert called Astro World, and heaps of people died. Like, he was encouraging people to like do this thing called raging, and he was having like moshes and whatever. I don't know why they're like trying to copy like punk and hardcore culture. Yeah, his name is like seriously like something like Beef Wellington III. I don't know. His real name is like Jacques Vesico Wawa something. I don't know, something French sounding. And he's apparently like a trust fund baby from Texas. But it's a guy they showed at the beginning of the video. But yeah, he threw these concerts called Astro World. We can watch something on Astro World if you want, actually. This guy just would not take any responsibility. There were ambulances going out into the crowd and he didn't stop playing, and he kept on telling people to like keep going. A bunch of teenagers died. This was I think this was just before COVID or during COVID, or I don't know, it was around that time. But yeah, that's what Astro World is. People got trampled. Yeah, people got trampled. Heaps of people died. It was really, really horrible. You think it was 7 people that died? Yeah, it might have been 7 people that died, but I remember a lot of people were in critical conditions, and I think there was a class action against him. But I don't know, he's just really, really try hard. I don't know, he just seems like a massive try hard. And I've seen photos of him like posing for photos, and he looks like a toddler taking a poo. He like puts his arms out in like little fists and looks down at the ground like a toddler about to take a shit. And like apparently young people think that he's cool, and I'm just like, okay, well, I apparently am not with it anymore, guys, but that's all right because I don't want to be, if that's who's considered cool. I think I tried to listen to one of his songs once, like Because, I don't know, I like Post Malone. And I think he did a song with Post Malone or something. I was like, oh, like, Post Malone actually is a talented musician. Like, you can tell that he has a background in, like, hardcore and rock music and stuff like that. Like, you can tell that his music actually, you know, actually is listenable and enjoyable to some degree, but yeah.
If you haven't watched the show, it's essentially about these people who have a ton of debt and they get offered the chance to...
Yeah, look, I haven't watched Squid Games, even as big of a K-drama fan that I am, because I just, you know, sometimes I just don't need that dystopic blah 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 in my life, you know. I just don't need it. I watch K-drama as an escape. It's nice, it's relaxing.
You compete in a game show where the last person standing gets all of the prize money. However, it is also extremely graphic. I mean, there must be at least 200 headshots in the whole show.
East Asia's always done shows like that, right? Like Battle Royale is Japanese, right? They've always done like the death game show trope. It's been a thing for a while. I mean, that's what Hunger Games was, right? Was just kind of a rip-off of a combination of like the UN's Agenda 21 mixed with Battle Royale. It was just kind of like some hybrid, and the masses ate it up. Now I know some of the bands that Post Malone like listened to as a kid, and it's a lot of like the same music that I like, and you can really hear it. Plus he's really talented. Like I've seen him like cover Bob Dylan songs, and he's amazing. Like he's a really good musician. Yeah, I really like Post Malone. I don't know. I just think he's like goofy and cute. I would be friends with him. I would 100% be his friend. Like he seems like a really nice guy. And like he plays like Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. Like he's really into that type of stuff. And I just find that so endearing because I have friends who play that. They tried to teach me, but I have too much ADHD and I just get bored and I'm like, sorry, I forgot what you just said. They're like, this land gives you this mana. And I'm like, uh-huh. And then they told me something else, and then I'm like, wait, I forgot the last thing that you said. And then they just sigh, and they're like, you can't teach a bimbo to play Magic the Gathering, guys. It doesn't work. I just zone out. I just zone out. I can't. I can't deal with it.
So when you see a celebrity like Chrissy Teigen throwing a Squid Game themed party, it starts...
Yeah, but people like her will watch the show and just completely miss the point. Rich people are constantly missing the point. I understand why young children in our current like economic climate and our current social climate are drawn to socialist and communist ideas. I do understand that, but I don't understand how they worship people that literally were born into great wealth, attended some of the best private schools in the world, whose parents had political clout. You know who I'm talking about. His little minions will come for me. The king of Twitch himself. We'll just call him Melasma Boy because he has melasma, an estrogen pattern discoloration on your face, because I've noticed that a few times when I've been watching videos with him in that he has melasma. East Asian women particularly get it when they either go on the pill or they get pregnant, because some of my girlfriends who are Japanese and Korean descent, they have it from being on the pill, and one has it from having her children. It's really hard to get rid of.
Prizes that apparently included a flight to Napa Valley and dinner for two at French Laundry. So you can see why people saw this to be just a little bit insensitive, considering the whole point of the show was...
Oh no, we're gonna get there. Cool. She bullied a 16-year-old who was being groomed by like a 50-something-year-old man, and she blamed the 16-year-old and like told her to neck herself and stuff. Like absolutely horrific behavior. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're gonna get there. It is in this video. I had to check. I mean, her throwing out a Squid Games party is when she's insanely rich. It's pretty par for the course with these people that are so out of touch with reality.
Are people blowing this out of proportion a little bit? Yeah, that's what people always do. But I really think that this is just another example of how much being a celebrity affects the way that you think. She probably saw no issue with this because she doesn't really...
That's a 39-year-old. So I don't know how many people in chat like know a lot of 39-year-olds, but I have I work with a lot of people around this age, and they don't look like, they look significantly younger and better than this. I don't know if she's gone crazy on the fillers. I don't know if this is swelling from some type of procedure that she's had. I don't know. Maybe she has an illness and she's on prednisone, because I mean, but I'm on prednisone and I don't look like this. So I don't know. But it's like Roald Dahl says in like the book, The Twits, right? Like maybe sometimes when you're a horrible person in here, it starts to show on the outside. A lot of women look really good at 39. You can still get pregnant and have a baby. Like you're still fertile at 39. You're still, you know, you're still young, relatively speaking. And look at people like Kate Beckinsale and stuff like that, who just look like freaking, you know, hot as into their 50s. Like, it really is a thing. And even like, I know Kate Beckinsale has allegedly had, you know, a few tweaks here and there, but then like someone like Rachel Weisz, who's like never had surgery. Ooh, she's nice. I like it. I approve.
Whatever. You'd think her husband would at least be like, hey, sweetie, maybe don't post that. But who knows, though? Maybe he did say that.
He's married to her. So, like, I have been in a situation where I've started dating somebody and I found out that they are a horrible person and they are just mean and horrible and whatever. And you get out of it. The fact that he's married to her and has 4 children with somebody that tells teenage girls to neck themselves and all the rest of this horrendous stuff. You know, he obviously must be as bad as her, otherwise he wouldn't be with her, because you would not have children with somebody who is evil if you weren't evil as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as someone shows you their true colors, you can walk away. And look, like, I have a dark sense of humor if someone's making dark jokes, off-taste jokes or whatever. But when you're the type of person that acts maliciously and with malice towards people and you just have hate in your heart, it's like, it's just not... Yeah, they both are just gross. I just think they're both disgusting people. Like, if he's with her, he must, you know, that in some way is condoning her behavior as far as I'm concerned. It's just like, it's freaking gross.
Tweet. Yes, this is one of the many tweets that Chrissy sent out right before temporarily deleting her Twitter account. Although it sounded like something that should have just remained. She's
just an attention seeker. If you want to leave Twitter, leave Twitter. Don't make a big song and dance about it. She just wants people to say, oh no, Chrissy, we love you. We love... Again, 39. Oh, I could show you... Actually, I don't want to show pictures of some girls that I know that are 39 because then I'm doxing them. But I wish I could. I know 39-year-olds that are chef's kiss, beautiful women, you know, turn heads when they're out in public. Men are always looking at them. Gorgeous women. Like, this isn't it, love. It's not. She comments on other people's appearance. I usually don't, you know, comment on people's... And I'm not even saying that she's ugly, because she's obviously, before she did all this stuff to herself, she used to be a model, quote unquote. I think like she just did unpaid modeling work. But still, like the fact that she's been in like Sports Illustrated and stuff, even if it was for free, you know, she wasn't hideously ugly. The fact that she goes around bullying people and stuff like that and then has done this to herself kind of shows that, you know, she obviously doesn't like herself and she wants to make other people feel as bad as she does. But go to counseling, you know, learn to like yourself, and maybe you can start to like other people. I don't know.
Back in July of 2011, Chrissy also made some very questionable tweets that soon became part of the nearly 60,000 other tweets that were deleted from her account. In the tweet, Chrissy said, seeing little girls do these splits half naked is just, I want to put myself in jail. And then she hashtagged toddlers and tiaras.
Yeah, see, this is when like being an edgelord was big. This is like very iDubbbz and his husband. They were edgy when it was cool to be edgy. They were edgy. They were edgy boys. They're out here, you know, cutting themselves on all their edge. And then when that was out the window and now you have to be as far left as humanly possible, you know, they're out here apologizing for everything they ever did, throwing their old friends who have been nothing but loyal and kind and supportive under the bus to try and get a sniff.
Back in September of 2019, Donald Trump tweeted, musician John Legend and his filthy mouth wife are talking now about how great it is, but I didn't see them around.
She does have a filthy mouth though. She has a really filthy mouth. Like if somebody called me filthy mouthed, I would be like, well, yeah, like I am fond of the 4-letter words. I obviously, you know, time and a place, I would do it around, I'm not going to do it around the elderly. I'm not going to do it at work. I'm not going to do it around people that I know are very conservative because, you know, I respect other people. But when I'm around my friends and when I'm around, you know, my siblings especially, that's how we talk. That's how people from my social class tend to communicate with each other, and that's how I talk. So if someone called me filthy mouth, I'm like, you know what? That is true. If you call me a filthy mouth little girl, it's like, yep, those adjectives do fit. They really do. So if she's upset over being called filthy mouth, she swears so much in her tweets. It's like, and she swears in interviews, right? Because she's cool, she's relatable, she's got no filter, guys. If you want to be that chick, you also can't be upset when people think that you're classless and crass. Like those things go together, right? You can't have everything always. Like you have to take the good with the bad. Not everyone is going to like you, and that's just something you have to deal with in life, you know? You can't please everybody. And even if you're somebody that endeavors and sets out to have everybody like you, then there will be people that don't like you because they think you're too nice and they think you're a fence sitter. So there's literally no way to win. So you may as well be hated for who you are, you know, rather than trying to be some cool, edgy person that you're not, or whatever the hell you're trying to do. Love, just, you know, keep it together.
Entitlement is the belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. In December of 2014, Chrissy tweeted, 2 Grammy noms for John Legend. No one has congratulated me for being the inspiration behind all of me. Without me, there is no all of me. Pretty sure that he just would have written a different hit. He's John Legend. This constant bullying online must just exhaust John so much.
I still can't name a John Legend song, guys. Sorry, but I can't name one. And I don't think I would like his music. Just gonna say, I don't know what kind of music it is, but yeah. He seems like an F-wit, you know. I'm a big believer that you are the company that you keep, and that's why I'm really like selective about my friends. All of my friends are incredibly kind, intelligent, funny people, and I don't want to be around people that are awful. Like, we make jokes, we make really off-color jokes, but we aren't, you know, we're not nasty to people. We don't go after people. It's just, it's a certain type of viciousness that some people have in their soul that I'm just... yeah, keep that away from me. John Williams? Was I calling him John Williams? I meant to call him John Legend. Sorry if I was calling him John Williams. I think that's an Australian, like, really boomer era singer.
Now, in response to that, all Chrissy had to say was, too lazy, hate paperwork. Oh, good to see that the only thing holding your marriage together is a lack of motivation to fill out the paperwork. Does that imply that she would if she had the motivation?
And look, like, I'm all for having a jokey relationship with your partner and yada, yada, yada. But my rule is, like, I will joke and tease a partner in private, but I will never belittle them in public, right? Because I just don't think it's a good look. It's just really disrespectful. Like, I will muck around and we'll, like, say, you can say stuff in private and yada, 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 and that's fine. But to, like, publicly try and, like, humiliate or belittle your partner, it's just really weird behavior. I don't like it. It's pretty gross.
Back in May of 2015, Chrissy tweeted, just tried to take my fake eyelashes off, but they were my real eyelashes. Needless to say, I now have no eyelashes.
Sorry, but no one's pulling their real eyelashes out. That's not a thing. Back when people used to actually be on Facebook and they would just, like, make up these elaborate stories or whatever, and it's like, yeah, things that didn't happen for $5. That is something that didn't happen. Stop trying to get attention on the internet, Chrissy. Like, you're rich and you have 4 kids and you live in a mansion and you have a swimming pool. Like, go play in the pool with your kids. Like, go camping with your kids. Like, you can literally do anything that you want. You have all the time and the money. This is the thing, like, she has kids. Why are you just tweeting all day? Go and play with your kids. It's such bizarre behavior. You can literally do whatever you want. You could take your kids to Disneyland every single day. Why is the only thing that she cares about is attention and adulation from the public? It's just bizarre.
Chrissy Teigen is in a huge scandal involving Courtney Stodden, and it really feels like this is yet another incident of Chrissy's true colors actually showing. This story actually starts many years ago when Courtney Stodden married 50-year-old actor Doug Hutchinson.
So this is a 16-year-old who's been groomed by this creep. Keep this in mind. This is not an adult. This is a girl who's essentially been pimped out by her mother to this rich dude. Okay? She's been pimped. This is a child. I know she looks a little bit older because of makeup, and she's obviously, you know, very well developed. All these things don't change the fact this is a 16-year-old child. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you see what Chrissy Teigen says to her. She's been groomed. This man is in his 50s. Think about that age difference, okay? All right, let's keep that in mind.
Stodden claimed that Teigen repeatedly encouraged them to take their own life, and Stodden alleged that they never received any sort of...
So Chrissy Teigen didn't say anything to the man that groomed her. I don't want to categorize the relationship in maybe a way that the victim wouldn't want to categorize it in, but you know, we're all adults. We all know what a grown man old enough to be someone's father is doing to a 16-year-old girl in a quote-unquote marriage, right? That she needs parental consent for because she's not an adult. She can't consent to marriage, so her mother had to consent for her. So this is a girl that's essentially been pimped out by her own mother, and this is what this freaking, I'm in the way, but this jigsaw looking, yeah. I mean, I have a rule not to comment on people's appearances usually, but This is, you know, this is procedures. She's done this to herself. She didn't look like that. She's so insecure and lashing out at other people. Chrissy, just work on your insides, okay? Just work on your insides.
After that interview, some of Teigen's old tweets resurfaced, and they are just as horrendous as Stodden claimed. Teigen decided to face the situation head on, and she apologized on her Twitter account in a series of tweets, saying, quote, "Not a lot of people are lucky enough to be held accountable for all their past BS in front of the entire world."
That's so passive aggressive. Not a lot of people are lucky enough to be held accountable for all their past bullshit in front of the entire world. She's like, oh, look at me. I was a mean person and now the whole world's being mean to me. That's what that's saying. It's like she's being so passive aggressive with that comment. Oh my god, I hate her so much. I hate you, Chrissy Teigen.
She then goes on to say in her apology letter, "The real truth in all of this is how much I actually cannot take confrontation, but if they do, I am here and I will listen to what they have to say while apologizing through some."
Yeah, you just like to sit behind a screen like a little gutless being mean to people. Yeah, you can't stand the confrontation. You can't look people in the eyes. You don't even have the guts to see the pain in people's eyes that you've caused them. You're just like a gutless. If you can't say something to somebody's face, don't say it behind their back. That's my rule. If I wouldn't say it to your face, I'm not going to say it behind your back. Oh, and another thing, there's 100% no way she wrote this herself. Some type of PR, you know, damage control, what's it called? Crisis PR manager wrote this. She doesn't have the self-awareness to write this. She doesn't. She's not capable of contrition. She's not capable of empathy, of regret, of self-reflection, because she hasn't changed. She hasn't changed. If you are genuinely sorry for your actions, you reflect on yourself and you grow as a person and you become a better person. And she hasn't. She's still a CU in the Northern Territory. Like, she's still a CU in the Northern Territory and she will probably be forever. Maybe it's a good thing that the nannies are raising the kids and she's just, you know, trying to get attention on the internet, because at least the nannies probably have some type of maternal instincts, right?
Over in March, she decided to briefly delete her Twitter account after saying that it no longer serves a positive purpose in her life. Although just a month later, she was back on the platform and back to sending out her usual tweets. Upon returning, she tweeted, "Turns out it feels terrible to silence yourself and also no longer enjoy belly chuckles randomly throughout the day and also lose like 2,000 friends at once," adding, "I choose to take the bad with the good." In her apology, Chrissy also noted that when she started,
she couldn't take not having her fuel because she's a narcissistic bimbo. She needs a constant validation. She needs a constant attention. So she couldn't stay away from Twitter. That's a translation. That's what she meant to say, guys.
Chrissy then goes on to say that now, since being confronted with some of the things that she has said, she cringes to her core. She now realizes that words have consequences and that there are real people behind the Twitter handles that she went after.
Okay, but she did this as an adult. She didn't do this as a teenager. She didn't do this as an adolescent. She had a fully formed brain. I'm sorry, but you don't get through life and not know these things. Like, that is such a cop-out. That is such a cop-out. I would hold like a 5 or 6 year old child to more accountability than that. Little kids know not to tease each other, right? They know not to do these types of things. It's insane.
"There's no justification for my behavior. I'm not a victim here. The subjects of your sympathy and mine should be those I put down," adding, "The truth is, I'm no longer the person who wrote those horrible things.
Yes,
I grew
you
up,
are.
Got therapy, got married, had kids, got more therapy, experienced loss and pain, got more therapy."
I know a lot of people who have quote unquote therapy and they go and see, you know, somebody that's vaguely qualified to call themselves a therapist, and they're just yes men. They just sit there and get, you know, affirmed in their behavior. There are a lot of so-called therapists out there that have some pretty questionable, you know, like the life coach type people. And yeah, they're just yes men and they just affirm people's bad behavior a lot of the time. Or she could be one of those people that goes to her therapist and is just not honest about things. Who is your therapist? Because you haven't done any reflection on yourself, because you're still behaving in exactly the same way. You're just using like being anti-Trump and being like woke as a way to bully people who maybe are, you know, a little bit right-wing or a little bit conservative. You're still bullying people. You're just wearing this cloak of like, I'm a leftist, so I can go around hurting people. So you're still an asshole, love. You're still an asshole, sweetheart.
Lastly, Chrissy took aim at singer Avril Lavigne and tweeted out in 2011, quote, "If you told me I could have one kid, but it would be exactly like Avril, I would choose to have a barren, sterile existence that ends when I die." Then after, she said watching Avril was the second most painful thing she'd watched that day. And trust me, there were so many more tweets that we actually have 2 top 10 lists on her tweets if you want to check those out. After more and more of these terrible
Sorry, just a perfect freeze frame. No commentary necessary, guys. Just take it all in. 39 years old. 39 years old. Okay, moving along. Yeah, there's not an original part of her left, Joey. You're very correct in your observation. Look, she's an awful person. I did find some of the things that she said a little bit funny. I tried not to laugh. The Avril Lavigne stuff was kind of funny. But it's like, yeah, she's just an awful person. And if she was actually a funny person, she wouldn't have to put people down. And yeah, she's obviously very insecure because, like, if you couple all the procedures she's obviously done to her poor little face with the way that she constantly needs to put down and belittle other women, she obviously mustn't feel very good about herself on the inside. And so in a way, I kind of have a little bit of sympathy, I guess, because I am a woman, so I do know what it's like to feel insecure sometimes. Sometimes you don't feel, you don't feel the best sometimes, and I understand that. Deal with that within yourself. Don't lash out at other people. Work on yourself. Work on feeling good about yourself, being confident. You've got kids as well, so why are you so self-obsessed? You have children. You have children in this world to take care of. But like I said, it's probably best, I would guess, based on the way that she talks to other people and the way that she treats other people. Maybe it is best that the nannies raise the kids and she keeps to herself.
So Chrissy has been dealing with tons of hate on Twitter over the last week or so, with almost every one of her recent tweets being flooded with replies asking her to explain her connections with J and explain why there are reports of her being on his flight log and potentially vacationing on his island.
They're talking about Jeffrey Epstein. She was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Couple that with the tweets she made about the toddlers on toddlers and tiaras being smegsy, and we're getting some interesting data points, guys.
Chrissy tweeted out on July 10th, quote, "I have never met that man or been to the island or on the plane." But after this, the hate did not lessen and seems to have actually intensified, with people then digging up plenty of old tweets of hers that can be interpreted to be speaking in a suggestive way about. Some of the tweets do raise an eyebrow, honestly, I can't lie, especially in this current climate with G Maxwell just being arrested.
Well, Hyperbovian, a lot of the pop culture, a lot of the celebrities are really interconnected with politicians, especially in America. They go to the same parties, they're in the same social circles. They all, there's a lot of overlap. Even in the way that, like, certain celebrities will pal up to certain politicians and sort of, like, use each other for clout, and there's all these, like, there's just very strange bedfellows. It's very, very weird. I mean, when you factor in that Hollywood is essentially like America's propaganda arm, it would make sense that so many of them have a lot to do with politics and a lot to do with politicians, and they all party together and they all hang out. It's, yeah.
She tweeted, "This is a huge bummer and it hit me hard. I have made her recipes for years now, bought the cookbooks, supported her social, and praised her in interviews. I even signed on to executive produce the very show she talks about doing in this article. I started Cravings because I wanted something for myself. I wanted something John didn't buy. Cravings isn't a machine or farmed content. It's me and 2 other women." I gotta say, I'm impressed with the way she handled it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have been like pretty cheese and I would have, like,
She definitely has a PR person, because she is 100%, like that other chef said, running a content farm. She's not replying to that. She's not capable of replying like that. If you see something that comes from Chrissy Teigen and it seems self-reflective and it seems contrite and it seems like it's had some type of forethought and it's just not, an angry little child lashing out at everybody, then she 100% did not write that. Sorry. She's not capable of it. It's not. She seems very hot-headed, and she seems very, very incapable of controlling herself, of regulating her feelings. All right, I'm just gonna take a 3 or 4 minute break, and then actually I have a new video on Jeffrey Epstein from Lauren Crime, which flows into this because Chrissy Teigen allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, was on the Jeffrey Epstein Lolita Express manifest. So there you go.